All right, let's dive right in. What if I told you that the secret to understanding yourself isn't actually inside you? What if instead the key is looking at every single person you meet? Well, that's the core idea behind a really fascinating approach called therapy or mirror therapy. So, yeah, let's take a look in the mirror. Just think about this for a second. That core question is the whole game. What if everyone, your friends, your family, that random person you just passed on the street, what if they're all just showing you a reflection of what's going on inside you? It's a pretty wild idea, right? And it's the foundation for everything we're about to unpack. Okay, so you're probably thinking the world is packed with therapies. We've got so many. Why on earth would we need another one? Well, the answer to that starts with a really bold challenge to the very foundations of modern psychology. I mean, look, we've got amazing tools like cognitive and behavioral therapy, and they do incredible work helping us deal with trauma and loss. No question. But the creator of Therapy looked at all of this and thought, what if we're missing something? What if we need a totally different way of looking at ourselves to begin with? And this is where we get to the real heart of it. This new approach isn't just tweaking a technique here or there. No, it's going way deeper. It's questioning the very ground that modern psychology was built on. So here's the big claim. Modern psychology isn't this universal, culturally neutral science that we might assume it is. The argument is that its DNA, its very core assumptions, come from a very specific time, place, and worldview. The source puts it this way, saying that psychology in America really took shape thanks to Jewish and Christian thinkers who arrived after World War I. And the key point here is that this background supposedly fostered a particular view of the self. The self as this separate, individual I that's distinct from everyone and everything else. So, if that's the critique, what's the alternative? Well, Aina Tarpi finds it in a completely different philosophical framework, grounded in two really powerful concepts, tanzih and tashbih. These are two totally different ways of seeing our place in the cosmos. First up, you've got tanzih. Think of it like this. It's the idea of a God who is totally transcendent, completely separate from the world. A God who is distant, otherly, and fundamentally beyond what we can see or perceive. See the parallel? A separate God, a separate self. But then you flip the coin and you have tashbih. This is the complete opposite. It's the idea of an immanent God, a God whose attributes, whose face is visible in everything. The divine isn't somewhere else. It's right here, expressed through the world, and especially through people. And to really make this crystal clear, the source points to this amazing contrast from the Quran. On one hand, you have Moses' experience, God telling him, "You cannot see me." That is pure tanzih. The divine is separate, unseen. But then you have the revelation to Muhammad. Wherever you turn, there is the face of God. That is pure tashbih. It's an incredible shift from a God you can never see to a God you can't help but see everywhere. Okay, so this idea, seeing the divine in everything around us, leads us straight to the central metaphor for this entire therapy. It's a well-known saying from the Prophet Muhammad, and it's literally where the therapy gets its name. Mu'min mu'minin aynasıdır. The believer is the mirror of the believer. It's so simple, but think about what it implies. That is the absolute key. It takes this huge abstract search for meaning and brings it right down to earth, to the person standing right in front of you. So what does this actually mean for you and me? Well, you literally can't see your own face without a mirror, right? This therapy says the same thing is true for your inner self, for your soul. Other people are that mirror. So that thing that drives you nuts about your boss, maybe it's reflecting something in you. That kindness you admire in a friend, that's in you too. Suddenly, every single interaction is a chance to get a glimpse of who you really are. I know, this all sounds very deep and philosophical, but how does it actually work in a therapy session? What do you do? Let's get into the practical side of things. So picture this, the session starts in a very specific way. The client sits down and looks into a circular mirror, but it's not a normal mirror. It's designed to only show the very core of the face, your eyes, nose, and mouth. The idea is to strip away the hairstyle, the head shape, all the stuff that makes up our usual identity. And then the session kicks off, not with talking, but with the client's first prayer. And that first prayer is a huge deal. Why? Because the thinking is, when you get down to our deepest, most honest desires, what we pray for, it's often the same stuff. We want love, we want purpose, we want to feel safe. That prayer taps into a universal human connection, and that's the starting point. And that leaves us right here with this one big, provocative question to take with us. If we even entertain this idea for a moment, that every person and every situation is a mirror, then the question isn't just for a therapy room, it's for right now, today. What is the world trying to show you about yourself?